I've dropped out twice. So I dropped out in my second year. I took the whole year off for endometriosis. That was the year I was diagnosed. And that year was the year I basically taught myself digital art. So I kind of went like completely opposite direction. And now I have this thing that I absolutely love, and I do it every single day. And I try to put myself out there on social media and everything like that. But I feel like my head is always in two directions. Like I have this creative side and then I have this academic side. But what comes with the academic side is like the literal pain I experience.
Well, I mean, think about that. Just
I know.
Rewatch this. Like even if it was 1975 when college's ROI was extraordinarily strong and you couldn't really you could get a job immediately and you couldn't get one without it, and it paid for itself based on the cost of the degree. Even then, if it literally brought you pain, the answer is it's not a good idea. I mean, I think, at some point here, people are going to realize happiness over money. At some point it's going to happen. I just believe it. And it's going to flip the world upside down. And I think a lot of the things I debate and think about will come into focus during that time.
Yeah, I was going to say, so this is one of the biggest reasons I started listening to you. You're honestly, I'm so sorry. I'm really nervous at the moment. I'm so excited to be here, but your content honestly changed my life because I feel like I tend to judge myself a lot unnecessarily. I really don't need to be like that. And I find it really hard to snap out of that sometimes. And I just honestly turn you on and listen to your content day in, day out. Creating stuff based on your content is one of, I've said it before, but honestly, it's just one of the most positive things that I've done with my time. And sorry, I was just gonna say, no. So I wanted to.
I'm wildly flattered. Keep going.
I just wanted to ask, I know you talk a lot about when you do or don't do something, you don't judge yourself for it. And I just want your perspective because I tend to tie my self-esteem up in a lot of these things. And what is your advice for letting go of that completely?
By focusing on realizing, it's almost by muting the accolades more than the negativity. I think what's really worked for me is the humility leads to the ability to not have your self-esteem wrapped up in the win or the loss. To me, it was about when things were working for me, not thinking that I was special or better than anybody.
Yeah.
It was actually in the humility that I found peace. Now, I don't come off as a humble person because I talk loud, I'm aggressive, I'm competitive, I like sports, I like competition. But in my real kind of core, I don't think I'm special in any shape or form. I really genuinely don't. I genuinely do not.
Yeah.
And because of that, when people say you're a genius or you saved my life or all these things, you're the GOAT, it feels amazing. I'm so grateful. It's so nice. However, I don't take it to heart. I don't begin to believe it. And so what that also means is when somebody says, you're full of shit, you suck, you're the worst, it allows me to not get torn down. And so I just stay in the middle. To me, I think a lot about being 100 years old. And do I care about what an anonymous person or even my cousin thought of me at 100 or at 75 or being terminally diagnosed? I mean, you've already had a health scare. You can really use this. I think you have to think back to the judgment you had growing up. That doesn't mean demonize your parents or your circumstance. It means just understand it because they probably had the same thing happening to them. And really just reframing. So I talk about positivity and practicality into your ears. The reason you're in a better place is you've been listening to a lot of what I'm saying, which I'm grateful. And it sounds like it's bringing you some value. I mean, ultimately, when you realize you don't matter that much, it is actually liberating.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That's how I do it. That's the truth. Between that and realizing what's important to me, who cares if my business failed or my post didn't do well or people think I'm a bad guy? Like
Yeah.
my parents are healthy, and as long as that's like, just keep it simple and keep it humble. Keep it simple, keep it humble. Keep it simple, keep it humble, and you will watch your happiness explode. That doesn't mean stay complacent. I'm the fucking most hungry, ambitious person you'll meet. But I really, really just keep it simple and humble.
Yeah.
So what you're referring to for everybody's watching is a lot of times people at 20, 21, 22, even 30, 40 are asking me, Gary, I don't know my passion. I always ask them, well, what did you do as a kid or what do you like? But sometimes you don't have to go as far as what you did as a kid. It might be, Robbie, what you're doing right now. Like, I'm a big fan of paying attention to what people consume. Like, for example, I've been so busy with the All-In Challenge, trying to keep the companies along, just a lot of shit. Black Lives Matter, there's been so much. But in the few minutes that I've had to myself, I've either looked up sports cards and bought them on eBay or have watched wrestling documentaries on WWE OTT. That's a clear indication of who I am right now, even of what I like, and begs the debate that if I started a podcast around wrestling cards, which, oh, by the way, I genuinely believe are underpriced and like have a big opportunity, that would make me incredibly happy. Now, I'm wildly happy doing what I'm doing, so I won't make that pivot yet. But I always do wonder if I'll ever have a breaking point in all the pressure that I have to hold. And am I okay with selling it off or walking away and just doing something simplistic like garage sailing or sports cards or things of that nature? I would really look at what you gravitate towards doing. Like, what do you watch? What do you do? Like, what do you like? You know, like, what is it?
I would say
music, sports, video games, cooking, travel, skiing, you know.
Video games and probably fiction writing. And also I've been reading a lot about entrepreneurship too, but I know you got to actually get out there and do it too.
Well, you gotta fiction write and you gotta play video games or record it. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with educating yourself or consuming. The push I give when I'm like, what you gotta do is, that's the truth. Like you can't, you know, nothing will happen by watching my videos unlimited. Like you have to do that thing. There's nothing wrong with consuming. It's just that if you use consuming as the justification that you're doing, you tend to get unhappy.
Right.
But I mean, Robbie, you're in a place where you can start YouTube videos and Instagram accounts and TikToks around video games and fiction writing. You can literally write the first page of a fiction story that you have in your mind in the Notes app on your phone and post that on Instagram with 12 followers. And that could be the moment. It's unlikely, but it could.
Right. That's true.
You gotta, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta lean into your interests. It leads to happiness. You're too young to give up on happiness. You know, people that are 75, I'm willing to say you can give up on happiness. And what I mean by that is not giving up on happiness. I mean professional happiness. I would say, okay, you're 75, fuck it. You're allowed to go to save your money or whatever, and but yeah, hopefully you save some money if you want to go to Florida or Arizona and just golf, like cool. But if you're 52 right now and you hate your fucking job, I don't want you to keep doing that, because there's another 20 years likely of you working based on what I'm seeing in the numbers. These like fuck already. Like, this is why I don't want people to buy houses that are too expensive for them. I don't want people not to buy houses. I don't want people to buy houses that they can't afford. I don't want people to not buy cars. I don't want them to buy cars they can't afford. I don't want people to not buy jewelry. I don't want them to buy jewelry that they can't afford. I'm buying fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars of sports cards, but I can afford it. Nobody, like, that's stupid if you can't afford it. I want people to drink $6 coffees if they can afford it. I don't want them to buy it when they can't. Saving money is incredibly important. Living within your means is incredibly important. And more importantly, having a job you hate or doing something you hate just to pay for stuff to make pretend you were happy, that's the worst of them all.
Right.
You've already lived that. You fucking thought you had to do something. It made you unhappy, and it became a spiral, and you became very unhappy.
I'm 25 right now. I feel like I'm 50 sometimes.
Bro, you're super young, bro. Please promise me, Robbie, that you understand how young you are. At 25, I was stocking bottles on shelves in a liquor store on this exact moment. For real. Checking in orders 100% at 25 years old. 100% at this exact moment when I was 25, deliveries would come to Shoppers Discount Liquors. I think I'd renamed to Wine Library by then. Wine Library. Deliveries would come, 10 cases of Doors Scotch, 5 cases of Budweiser, 13 cases of a Sauvignon Blanc I bought. And I would fucking check in the invoice. Okay, we got 13, check. I would sign the invoice. I would then send it to get a hand truck, ship it down a conveyor belt, take one case of the 15 Sauvignon Blanc, put it on the shelf, get a piece, like a little card that I had, write the review of the Sauvignon Blanc, put it up. Customer walked in, where's the scotch? Right over here, ma'am, right? Like that was my life at 25. I was a fucking schlepping in a liquor store.
That's true. So
No. Stick with me here, fucking Robbie.
Okay.
Like,
All
this
right,
is huge. That's what I was doing at 25.
Yeah.
You have unlimited time.
I'm that guy, used to be in corporate, making 100K plus. I left that life. It just, it wasn't for me. It wasn't fulfilling.
You weren't happy.
Right? I came to Mexico. That's where I'm right now. It's where I'm based, where I'm from. Started a call center. I just focused on helping people that run Facebook ads follow up with their leads. So we kind of come in and we're part of an ecosystem that helps people convert their leads into life transfers, into appointments, all that kind of stuff, right? We hire kids that are here, grew up in the US, came back to Mexico, that in every sense of the word, they're American, Gary. But we kind of help them out. We get them this job and they're working for companies in the US, like digital marketing agencies, real estate agents. We're focused on real estate. That's our niche, that's our area. So my question to you is this, Gary. So given that, and we've grown the company. I have 50 people working for me right now. We have thank you. And we have over 300 clients across the US and Canada. And we weathered the COVID, right? I mean, we survived, we're here. And the number one thing I did was in the middle of March, when it got real, I started going live on Facebook. I finally followed a lot of your advice. I had been not wanting to post anything. I didn't really want to be the face of the company. Well, I stopped that in the middle of March, right? So, we went down a little bit, but man, we survived COVID. And I think we're ready to thrive right now. My concern is this, Gary, as the leader of the company, I'm like, okay, should we double down on real estate? Or is it time to open up to other niches? Because holy cow, who knows? What's that?
Both.
Both? What do you mean?
Double down on real estate and expand.
And
when people expand, they oftentimes forget the thing that got them there. So if you have 100 beans to deploy going forward, make 70 of those beans go on real estate because it's working and you haven't extracted all the value yet.
100%.
And then take 30% and go into flooring or insurance or small business, whatever you think is right. So the answer is both.
Both. And Gary, for when you're running an organization like that, how do you keep them, the focus, right? Because right now, one of our biggest, strengths and, selling points is, hey, we know real estate. We're 100% real estate. This is our thing. This is what we do. How would you
change what you say to people?
Hey,
Gustavo, Hey, Gustavo, you need to work with us. Now, I know you're in the hardware store business. We crush real estate. That's our origins, but we've taken those nuances and we understand the hardware space and we think the comps are there. And then when you talk to Gustavo, the real estate guy or gal, you say, hey, Gustavo, look, you need to go with us in real estate. That's our origins. The first 3 years of my company, it's still 90% of our behavior. We've expanded into insurance and mutual funds and Wall Street, but we are real estate. All of a sudden, just by delivering it differently, you're in both.
I gotcha. And kind of, play to that real estate DNA, but how it applies to how like you said, the nuances can apply to a bunch, which is true, 100% true, by the way. I mean, a lot of those principles.
That's why I'm saying it. I know it's fucking true.
100%. Yeah, no, that's really good advice, Gary. And on the social, when I'm putting my content out there, I'm working in a call center, Gary, and I've moved the whole company virtual now. What does really awesome content look like? If you're, neon sign guy, I 100%, I can think, but that's actually could be really great content.
Q&A. See with Garyvee. Look at I got fucked up hair. Fucking backlighting. Nobody gives a fuck about the production. Everybody gives a fuck about the substance.
I gotcha. Get great clients, great partners, great people out here that they're looking to learn from. We have a lot of the same audience.
Yeah, or just post on LinkedIn or Facebook, like, who's got questions? I mean, you're fucking Gustavo in Mexico right now. You're not a great client or a big dog. I'm here to bring value. Bring fucking value. Watch what happens.